My Days of Thunder tribute truck. Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So if you've not seen this already, I'm hoping you're going to like this one. Right, let's get into this. What I will say just up front, if you go into the description of this video, I'll put a link to the first video, which was a full chassis build, should you be interested to see that. But yeah, let's get into the bodywork side of things. Right, so the first bit of this project was to get all the extra body panels on the body set that I'd left off in the previous video. The whole point of this for me was to get all the panels that were going to need painting, more so than masking areas, get them all on the truck, because my plan was to mask the full body set in one hit. I've never done a truck before, so I didn't really know the best way of doing it, but in my head that seemed the best way. So we had the 4 pieces of the side fins which we bolted on, and there's 2 little sections just under the door on either side that stick on with double-sided tape, but a lot of that, or all of that, gets masked. Right, the next part of this project was integral to this build. Now, the standard Ford Aeromax doesn't come with any kind of rear mudguards or fenders, as some like to call them, but the whole purpose of this truck for me was, when it was painted, it had to be all colour coded, and the rear fenders were just massively important. So I actually got this set from it's the Tamiya Man TGX, I believe it's called, truck. Obviously it's a dual axle, so I bought them when I bought the truck. I've got to be honest, I had no idea if we could make them fit, but as you can see in the pictures, we put them all together. When I was happy with it, I sprayed over in primer, just more so just to get them a rough same colour as the shell, so I could see if it was working. And I've got to be honest, I was really lucky. They went on the truck with very little modification, to be honest, and as I said, it's an integral part of this build. So the next process was masking and painting. Now, to be honest, as I say, this was all sort of guesswork from me because I've not done a truck before. So as I said, I masked the full thing, and then with a craft knife I cut the masking on the gaps and stuff, and then I took it all apart again and started masking over where I'd already masked. It was a bit of a mission, if I'm honest, and I masked it with a view to get the yellow one first. If you're interested, these 2 are the closest colours I could get to it, which is TS16 for the yellow and TS25, what's it called, candy lime green, and just basic yellow. It's the closest colour match I could get for the colours, if I'm honest, but in the right light they're not a million miles away, to be fair. Right guys, and then it was back to the manual to sort of add on the bits that I'd left off on the first bit that weren't needed. The first part was the chrome plate for the 5th wheel, and then I made the connection. After that I've made a note, 5th wheel, and then we made the exhausts up, all chrome, and they've got 2 large chunks of metal tubing on them as well, so there's a little bit of weight to them. More chrome parts go down with double-sided sticky tape. And then once I got all that done, it was a case of sort of putting all the panels back on, obviously painted, to make sure that the masking and things like that were lining up. And to be honest, just to have a good look at the truck now it's got all the paint on and see if I was happy with it. Early indications, me being me, I wasn't loving it straight away, just with the colours I'd used. Something kind of looked a little bit odd and not right with it. And then we were on to more painting once I got the main colours on. So the first thing was the window surrounds. Now, I went for black, but I was very tempted to go for silver. Not sure if I made the right decision, but nevertheless, it's done now. I also did the interior seats, and I only give them 1 coat of brown because the white was showing through, and I kind of thought it had a little bit of a huge leather look to it, so I was quite happy with that. And then I also had to put my tyre decals on, you know me. I found some old Michelin ones which were quite small, so I just put those on every wheel, and I've got to be honest, I think the tyre decals have really enhanced the truck. Let me just look at my tyre decals. Painted the 2 front grills black. I chose not to go to the full surrounds. I left a little bit, probably I left about 6mm all the way around on both grills, which I kind of like. Grill mirrors, we built the chrome mirrors up. And then we got all the truck sort of put back together. Once I'd added those details and like the windscreens were in and stuff like that, the truck really started to come alive on sort of a detail side of it, and I really kind of liked what I was looking at after that. So, has any of you eagle-eyed people seen the terrible painting mistake I made? I wonder if you did. I've no idea how I did this. As you can see, I masked one of those tiny panels the wrong way around. So obviously I'd masked it in one hit, but when it came to painting, I just had a complete brain fart and I reversed the colours for some reason. What an absolute idiot. And I've run out of paint. So I am going to have to buy 2 cans of paint to put that right, but there's no rush. Had they both been wrong, both of the small panels, I would have got away with it because it kind of looked kind of sort of like a Harlequin effect, if that makes sense. But there's only one of them like that, so idiot. Right, and then it was onto the lights and interior. I've not glued the lenses onto the lights, onto the chrome parts, because we may be going for a full LED kit at some point. But I got them all built up, and then we got them on the truck. Painted the interior up. I went for silver on the dashboard. Unfortunately, which is a little bit of a letdown for this truck, the windows are smoked, so you don't see into the canopy that clearly. And it's such a shame, because a nice dashboard with the decals and the seats, steering wheel, it all looks fantastic. But at a distance, you can't see it, and I think that's a shame. I might have to look to see if they do a clear windscreen set for the truck. Then we got onto the rear lights. Now again, this was a little bit of a bodge because they weren't supposed to be fit, because the standard truck, it's got a completely different fitment. So what I've done for now is they're just on with double-sided tape. What I may end up doing is cut the 2 mounting hole section off, and then put a little hole through the mudguard so I can mount those correctly. And then it was on to the fun part for me, which was fitting the Days of Thunder decals. I got these decals off eBay. I believe they came from the UK, and I have used these decals before. Top quality, they're very sticky, a lot of adhesive on them, so you only want to cut a little bit of the backing off while you're figuring out where it's going to go, because I think you could end up ripping them off and taking your paint off with you. Anyway, such a fun part for me. Get the big city limit decal on the bonnet, and then I was really fortunate that the 246 numbers on the doors fitted. Didn't think they were gonna, because that was another integral part of the kind of design. Then we moved the city limits to the back, big number on the top cowling, and then the true fun part for me is when you start adding all the small sponsorship decals, because you've got full creative license with this project. It doesn't matter if you don't go anywhere particular. So yeah, just that's the most enjoyable part of this project for me. So because the lighting's not great in here, the paint wasn't popping. So what I did was I took the truck outside, and just on a beautiful blue sky day, and I hope, as you can see from pictures, it really did transform the looks of the paintwork, and it really popped. And although the yellow's not quite right to how the original car was, in the sun the green's pretty cock on, and in certain lights, certain bits with the sun on it, the yellow's not a million miles away. But I just thought, I was in awe of those pictures, I've got to be honest. I know that sounds probably vain because I've done it, but when I saw it all together like that, I was just like, yeah, that absolutely works, 100%. Right, my friends, as you know, this was the first Tamiya truck I've ever built, and it's by far, as I said on the first video, it's the best thing I've built. That's probably because it was new to me. It was, I say, first truck, but I just loved it, every part of it. The whole project from start to finish has taken me a full week, and that's going at it some, to be honest. Reading what the other guys do on the Facebook group and stuff, you know, these are very long projects. But bear in mind, this is all I do. I haven't got a life. My life is Tamiya. But it's not a bad life, is it, if you're honest? So I'm not saying I rushed it. I was relentless with it, with a couple of little breaks in between. So with that said, I'm definitely going to get another truck in the future to do, and I do fancy something like the Grand Hauler, and I want to make it like a a Mad Max kind of truck, really dark and aggressive, sort of badass looking. Do you know what I mean? What's next for this? I'm really not sure. Because it's taken so long, it did take a little bit out of me, as these builds do sometimes to me. So I need a little bit of time off now before I do anything else. I haven't got the radio gear for it, I haven't got the light kit, I haven't got the sound unit. And as you truck guys will know, that's a lot of money to get that stuff. But I do have the 3-speed mountain rider or mountaineer truck to build. Again, that's 3-speed, so the radio gear will be very worthwhile getting because I'll be able to run the truck and the mountaineer. But LED light kit, I don't think they're massively expensive, so it might be worth getting that, but the sound kits are a couple of £100. So for right now, this just goes in the cabinets to look pretty, so I can admire my work. That's very vain, isn't it? But yeah, I just loved it from start to finish. The box art for the Aeromax isn't great, all that one sort of reddish burgundy colour. And again, I wanted the Days of Thunder scheme in my collection somewhere. I've got to be honest, I didn't envisage it being on a truck, but that's just an added bonus. So I think I've covered everything. If you are thinking of getting a truck, you won't be disappointed, I can honestly say that. They're mega expensive. They're way bigger than I thought they were. It's probably about 2 foot long, this, and they're way heavier than I thought they were going to be. That was a real surprise, was the weight of the thing. But the detailing is second to none, and the build quality from Tamiya, as usual, is absolutely cock on. So yeah, I think I've dribbled on enough. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Please leave in the comments what you think to it. If the first thing that comes to mind is I shouldn't have put City Chevy badges on a Ford trailer, come on guys, these are toys. It's not real life. I posted it on my Facebook group and a couple of guys said, yeah, it looks great, but you can't put those badges on a Ford truck. Who knows what budget the NASCAR team had? They might have not been able to afford a Chevy truck back in the day. Who knows? They might have Ford Aeromax all the way. As I say, guys, it's only a hobby, isn't it? Don't get too strung up on it. Or the Michelin tyre decals. It's all good. It's just toys. Just remember that. Just toys. We're just big adults. Big kids. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. So thanks so much for watching. It's massively appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us. And if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always, my friends, I really hope Cold Trickle would have approved to this. What do you think, Tom?